as you can see, the scene there is getting increasingly volatile as news of this spreads and more people flock to the area, more ICE agents flock to the area. We just heard the munitions, the flashbangs, certainly an intense situation. We know Joe McCoy has been out there all morning.
Yeah, Joe got there about 10 o'clock, maybe 9:30 this morning, and has seen this escalate since the crime team went up. We did receive a video that is going around on social media right now. It's gaining popularity. I can't even describe it yet because I can't authenticate it that it's real. Mm-hmm. It appears to be the right location. It was posted at the right time, but we need to make sure that we authenticate that it's real before I even describe what it shows. You can try and watch it for yourself at home, but we're not going to put it on the air or even talk about it until we verify that it's real.
And until we know that it was, shot right at that scene at this time, it appears to be.
What I can tell you is that the reaction of what we're seeing is an angry group of protesters and a retaliatory group of law enforcement that are firing munitions, pepper balls, etc., randomly in the crowd and with press there. Our reporters have been on the air for the last 45 minutes and in danger. Jana Shortle gave us a firsthand account of what she describes as being assaulted by a federal agent and being pepper sprayed in her face for standing behind the police tape with a press badge. So again, we don't want to jump the gun nor jump the shark. We want to report the facts here. And in a second here, I'm going to go back to the newsroom and see what we have that we can actually tell people is verifiable and legitimate at this point, including this video that's being circulating.
And we do need to take a look at that video closely, and then we will bring it to you when we can authenticate it. But for now, let's head out to Joe McCoy, who is out on the scene, has been watching this unfold. Joe, can you hear us? Are you in a safe place right now?
Yep, I got you, Lauren, and we've taken a considerable step back here, so we're making sure we are a safe distance away. Last time when we were on air, we felt like we were a safe distance, and then they started launching these tear gas canisters into the crowd, which is when you saw us sprinting away. So we are pretty far back here. You can see up ahead, that's that barricade that protesters set up quite quickly after we got on scene here around 9:30. Blocking the road, not allowing any cars through. There's then now another one here of, again, trash cans. There's a mattress here. So people are trying to block the road and not allow anyone in or out of this situation here. I think you guys are absolutely correct describing this as a very volatile scene. This is now the third time Jana and myself have been on scene at these ICE-involved shootings, and it definitely feels like the tension here and the angst is a lot higher than the other two. We already saw multiple clashes between federal agents and protesters. We've seen, quite frankly, more chemical irritant deployed in just an hour here than I felt like we saw at the other two ICE-involved shootings combined. So tensions are extremely high, people are extremely angry, and it's also negative 15 degrees outside. Jana, anything you would like to say?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I agree with everything that Joe just said. One of the things that also is making this a bit problematic that you can see happening right now is with these makeshift barricades, the citizens are, and those look like nails, are controlling traffic. This is Blaisdell and 26th in Whittier. These are extremely, extremely busy areas. So you've got traffic control by people that are trying to do their best, but these are busy thoroughfares. And then those pepper balls that came towards us, those tear gas balls, you know what you should understand is perhaps they were trying to get the protesters right in front of them away, but they shot all the way back into these dense apartment complex parking lots. And that's, I think, like when we talked about, Joe, just these situations could be becoming increasingly dangerous for a lot more people that have absolutely nothing to do with this. Yeah. And I think that's why Chief O'Hara always was so concerned about things coming to this explosive moment.
Joe,
yep.
I understand Jana doesn't have her IFB in, and that's okay. Can you just tell me if any local law enforcement is out there?
Yes, MPD was on the scene right when we got down here at 9:30, and then so it was a mix of MPD, Border Patrol agents, and ICE agents, and then I would say 20 to 30 minutes later, that is when State Patrol got on scene. So it still appears that all three law enforcement agencies are on scene, and I want to show you something, Chris. This is that makeshift roadblock that people have set up, but then look at these like road strips. These look like nails that protesters have put on the road here. Again,
those are stop
even
sticks
if
still.
someone were to drive, right, stop
jack.
sticks. Stop sticks, exactly, Chris, that people have put on the ground here so that I guess if federal vehicles were attempting to leave, that they would then catch their tires and give them flat tires. So as Jana mentioned, the scene, although there is the three law enforcement agencies that are controlling the direct perimeter, if you just step about a block back in each direction, the scene is just being controlled by citizens. There's no one here directing traffic as of course, people who are not here protesting are just trying to get to and from places.
Right.
And so at this point, you said MPD, State Patrol were on the scene. What do you see them doing?
State Patrol is just trying to keep a perimeter, and NPD was also doing the same. You know, of course, MPD, they have said repeatedly that their sole purpose when they arrive to a situation like this is to make sure that everyone stays safe, that the federal agents stay safe, that the protesters stay safe, and that they are able to secure the scene. So that is what all three law enforcement agencies are doing. In terms of when we see that chemical irritant deployed, that seems to always be deployed by those federal agents, Lauren.
All right, Joe, we appreciate your reporting out there. We appreciate Jana's reporting out there on what is a volatile scene. And I know that it has been a tricky situation in the past for local law enforcement who say that their goal is not to assist ICE, but to keep citizens safe. Sometimes when situations get this chaotic, that line becomes very fuzzy for them.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you see it becoming out of hand, and if people are throwing ice or snowballs, or if people are becoming violent, you have to disperse people.
Right.
So, like, it's a fine line when that's excused and when it's not. What Jana reported was not that, though. Jana reported listening to a law enforcement officer being pushed twice and then pepper sprayed in the face. But what we're seeing is we're trying to be out there, report, we're trying to witness, we're trying to document what's happening, and our reporters are getting hit with all that gas. So that is not a good situation. But I'm happy to say that they're at a safe place now, and we can try and ascertain the facts. We've reached out to the governor's office, we've reached out to the mayor's office of Minneapolis to try and to ascertain some sort of interview to verify what happened. Again, we are working to authenticate a video that was just sent to us that is on social media right now that appears to show a law enforcement shooting of a person. But again, there's a lot of things on the internet, so we need to verify these things before we go with them.
And we know Minneapolis is going to have a news briefing at 11:30 a.m. where hopefully we will get some facts, some of the confirmed details we've been looking for. That's at 11:30 a.m. Of course, we will carry that live for you as we continue to follow this situation. I wonder if we can bring up that message from Governor Walz that came out earlier. He mentioned that he had spoken this morning to the president. Now, we don't know details of that call, but Governor Walz there saying, I just spoke with the White House after another horrific shooting by federal agents this morning. Minnesota has had it. This is sickening. The president must end this operation, pull the thousands of violent, untrained officers out of Minnesota now.
And we are, go ahead, sorry.
No, I'm saying that has been Governor Walz's message now for weeks. Both sides have told each other to turn down the temperature, but certainly there has continued to be a war of words between Minnesota leaders and the White House as this ICE enforcement in Minneapolis has continued since late November when Operation Metro Surge began. And
we are monitoring X right now and other social media platforms for statements and for more information. What we can tell you is we just got a post on X from Senator Amy Klobuchar. Is this right? Okay, here it is. We're going to read this cold for you on the air. She says, quote, "There has been another shooting involving federal agents in Minneapolis, and I am working to get more information. I will update as soon as possible. To the Trump administration and the Republicans in Congress who have stood silent, get ICE out of our state now."